Bobby Dirkens here. How you doing? Well, yesterday I put up a video and I asked everyone throw out some relevant, and I emphasize relevant, college football teams that you'd like for me to kind of do a little summary on. Focus on them. Deviate from our beloved and even Jesus hums Tiger Rag, Clemson Tigers. And the outpouring was overwhelming. One, for a joke, said Doo-Doo State. That was good, because I did mention Doo-Doo State, and because nobody cares about Doo-Doo State or the International Crocheters of America. Nobody does. So, our first suggestion comes from Patty Heverly. And I'm praying to the Lord that I'm actually saying your last name correct. Thank you for commenting. I'm much obliged. She said Oklahoma. Well, here's the deal. Anybody watches any of my videos over the past, you know that I've picked Oklahoma. And I'm going to make this video as fast as I possibly can because there's a lot to talk about. And also, I can start rambling. And Lord knows I can ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble. But I picked on Oklahoma last year. Now, if you're an Oklahoma fan, there were some good Oklahoma fans, just like any fan base, who commented, and they were kind, and I wished you the best. So if you're out there and you're an Oklahoma fan, and you're sitting here being, oh, Bobby's ragging on me. Bobby's not ragging on you, ragging on some of your brethren. Just like Clemson's got some stupid fans. And I rag on them, and they're Clemson fans. Because here's the reason. College football playoff comes up. You got Bama, who just lives at the national championship. You got Clemson, who's been in the game 3 out of the 4 years, past 3 years with the national championship. You have Georgia, who just exploded on the scene and looked really good. And then you have Oklahoma, who, yes, 2 out of the past 3 years has been in the college football playoff. Who talked the most trash out of all of them to me? Oklahoma fans. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I had to kick Bobby in the thingy down here from Oklahoma fans. And that's when I really lit up. Not to mention that your quarterback shook his junk at the entire Kansas. What about those 50-year-olds over there who wouldn't shake his hand? That's no reason to grab your crotch and shake it at people. In the time that just because someone's talented and they wear your jersey, let me tell you right now, if Deshaun Watson grabbed his stuff and shook it in front of 80,000 people, I would be sick and I wouldn't take up for him no matter what they did on the other side. And that's what fired me up. This video is not about that. This video is trying to have a fair assessment of Oklahoma. So here we go. Lincoln Riley had probably the best year you could ever ask for in the coaching. He took his team to the college football playoff. He was taking over for a legend. In fact, that legend's brother is still on the coaching staff. I think maybe even a couple of brothers. There's so many Stoops, I can't keep count of them. It's like rabbits jumping everywhere. Like grab one. Well, Baker Mayfield is now gone. And he is shaking his junk up in Cleveland. But they have a quarterback who is a transfer from Texas A&M. This guy, his name's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was hands down one of the top he was the top dual threat quarterback, I do believe, in 2014, 2015. Forgive me, year, give or take. Anyway, it's between him and, I want to say, Kyle Allen. They were down there. They were playing football. Kyle Allen beat him out, and then he didn't do so swift. And then they got Kyler Murray in there. If I hadn't said this already, his daddy was quarterback at A&M back in the mid-'80s. So there was a family connection there. For one reason or another, Kyler Murray left. He never lost a game while he was starting quarterback in high school back in Texas. He won 42 straight games and 3 state championships. Also, he's a Major League Baseball prospect, major prospect. Here's the sad thing about that. Chase 2 rabbits, will lose them both. And a lot of times that's what happens with these youngins with their baseball and with their football and their basketball. And I know somebody's going to come over, well, did you think about this statistic? Dry out and argue with me later, because I can just start ripping off names left and right where the whole Major League Baseball thing messed up things. Get back on track. This guy has a lot of potential, and a lot of people think that he's actually going to just blow it up. That's always kind of risky. because he's having to come in and replace the man. And when you have to replace the man, that's when people get unrealistic. They expect you to still be the man. Kelly Bryant replaces Deshaun Watson. Even Trevor Lawrence, if he had to come in and replace Deshaun Watson, let's be realistic. It is what it is. Well, anyway, the good thing is, pardon me, I have to pull up everything because I'm still learning about them. Good thing is that Oklahoma has a fantastic running back, Rodney Anderson. Rodney Anderson didn't start until like the 8th game of the year last year, but he still rushed for over 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns and made second team All Big 12. This guy was a fit for Georgia. And let me tell you this, Georgia's got a good football team and they got a good coordinator who just happens to be their head coach. He still gave them problems. On the offensive side of the ball, they got deep threats, Marquise Brown and C.D. Lamb. One of the coolest name in all of college football, and it ain't hyphenated. Good job, C.D. Lamb. Hate all these 3rds and 4th and 18ths. You're not dead French royalty. Good guy. They did lose some players aside from Mayfield. I can't remember his name, but I do know that their offensive linemen, y'all give me just a second, left tackle Orlando Brown and tight end Mark Andrews, they were unanimous All-Americans. They're gone. When you lose talent like that, it hurts. Ask Clemson. You lose Leggett, who would just run out there, and he caught one of the most important passes on that game-winning drive against Bama, and you start losing offensive linemen. Anytime you lose linemen who are amazing, it just, man, it hurts. It's definitely hurt. I know they got the talent, but it's going to hurt. But at least Murray has those talents around him and a lot of good things. I know that Amani Bledsoe, Marquise Overton, they're coming back. They're going to be playing. They did have a pretty doggone good recruiting class this year. I believe it was a top 10 recruiting class. They do return, quickly before I move on to the recruiting class, they do return Trey Norwood. He is a problem. Parnell Motley and Khalil Hooten. I think I'm saying his name right. If I'm saying it wrong, sue me. I'm sorry. I don't get A's and U's and O's, and I lose it after LMNOP, okay? They have a lot of good players that's going to be playing for them this year. Here's the deal I'm going to just come to you. Here's their schedule. We're going to fly through this because I always want to keep it interesting but fast. Very first game is against Florida Atlantic. And Florida Atlantic, not Atlanta, that would be funny though, Atlantic and the Fighting Lane Kiffins. Now, Lane Kiffin started off the season up at Camp Randall against Wisconsin, and I know everybody's going to laugh at me. But y'all saw how well Florida Atlantic was playing at the very end of the year. $100 says if they would have played Wisconsin at the end of the year, they would have beat them. I know you think I'm stupid. Well, I think you're stupid too, because they would have done it. They look good. They're going to Norman, and Kiffin, he does not have the talent pool to hang with them. He might hang with them for a little bit. Oklahoma's going to win that game. Next game, big old trap game. You're playing UCLA. Well, that means absolutely nothing because UCLA is just one of those big names who happens to bring nothing to the football field. Something has went bad since Deshaun Foster left, and that was back, what, 99, 2000, maybe even 2001? Almost 20 years of being irrelevant. And that's my word of the day. But now they got Chip Kelly. And we all know what happens when you have a genius put on the headset. Just ask Clemson with Brent Venables. Wink, wink. That's a trap game. But I still believe that Oklahoma is going to beat UCLA. Put an asterisk beside that. Next game, Iowa State. The most schizophrenic team. One week they beat a top 5 team. Next week, they lose to the Fighting Amish of Pennsylvania. But I think Oklahoma, you'll be safe. You'll win. You play Army. They can't throw the ball. You'll beat them. You'll play the good Christian boys from Baylor. And if they can get half their team on parole, they'll come out and play you. And you will beat them. And then the game everybody looks at. Okay, Tom Herman didn't get a good fair shake. Tom Herman didn't. He took over a bowl of piss and they asked him to turn it into wine. A fine wine. It's a bowl of piss. And I don't know what happened at Texas and why it happened at Texas, especially when you got that fertile ground down there to recruit. You could just recruit your state and you could win the national championship, but it did. Lincoln Riley took over a team that had a lot of good things going for it. A lot of good players, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good culture. This game, second year, old Tommy boy might be aiming for you. And if I know you're like, well, duh, you better not turn your head to this one and think you got them, because Tom Herman, he's been a head coach before. He has been part of championship teams. He knows what he's doing. You better be careful. That's your biggest trap game of the year. You know it, but I'm just saying. Next game, Texas Christian. Love Gary Patterson. Something weird's going on in Fort Worth, and you're going to win that ball game at Fort Worth. Play Kansas State. Coach Snyder's going to turn 173 on the sideline, and you will beat him that game. Happy birthday, Coach Snyder. Texas Tech, you'll beat them. Oklahoma State, they lost some stuff, but Mr. What's up with Gundy's hair? I mean, I'm just sorry. You know the man makes millions a year, and he has the hair of an award-winning redneck. I mean, what's going on? Billy Ray Cyrus would love that hair back. Kansas, you're going to beat them. And by the way, I think you're going to beat Oklahoma State. And then the very last game, the media loves West Virginia. They can't get enough of them. For the past 7 years, they're just like shaking. They're like, there's West Virginia. And they always have a couple of games where they run up like 7,000 yards in a ball game. But it's just like I said. Don't kiss my sister in the mouth and dare me to punch you in the mouth, because it's going to happen in West Virginia. They are going to just probably, only hope they have is Will Grier. If Will Grier stays healthy, you might have a problem. But even with that, it's West Virginia. They're overrated. You're probably going to run the table in your conference. You're probably going to get back to the college football playoff, as long as you solve your quarterback issues. And that is the rhyme and reason of every concern of every college football fan if their team is an actual contender. Us, that's all I talk about now, is Bryant and Lawrence. And here, that's going to be your big deal. If you can get him settled in, you'll be in good shape. Well, I just want to tell everybody thank you for reaching out here, giving me some ideas. I think the next one I'm going to do is Georgia. That's the next one on the list, and rightfully so. But y'all keep it clean. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let the Lord bless you. And just keep it clean, as I said, when you put your comments in here. If I had to get my grandma to read it and she'd piss her pants or her depends because of what you wrote in there, I just can't put it up. This is Bobby Dirkens saying, have a good one, Bobby Dirkens.